Hi, everybody. So great to have you here. We have a really special guest to talk with today. We have Adam Reichert from the Erie County Board of Elections, and there could not really be a more timely or important topic for us all to talk about. And we're so excited to learn more about this process. I met Adam because I applied to be an election supervisor. Adam, is that the right term for what I applied
election
for?
inspector. We'll say election inspector. You might
I
get the role
like
of
that.
supervisor. You might get the
Not,
role of
not
supervisor.
supervisor yet.
But
Inspector.
election
Thank you
inspector
for
is the
clarifying.
term we'll use.
Do you have a hat or a shirt that says that? Because I want to know.
I know you want to borrow that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I get that. I'm not
You
sure
know what?
yet.
You'll have your name tag, that big name tag.
Name tag. Steve, you can wear my name tag.
Can you wear it around your neck and have just like Flavor Flav? All right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So Adam did the training that I attended to be an election inspector, and I really thought he did an amazing job. I was inspired by not only his enthusiasm for the subject, but the way that he delivered it to a whole room of people. Really, it was so interesting, and I learned a lot. So I thought it'd be great for us to have the chance to speak further about that. So thank you so much for being with us, Adam.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to chop shop.
Awesome. Well, I know Jen is super excited to have you here. So welcome, Adam. We have a couple of icebreaker questions for you.
Perfect.
What is the coolest thing that you've bought under $100 in the last couple months or year?
You know what? I would have to say the coolest thing, and I mean, it might not even be that cool, but to me, it's cool. I have some wireless headphones. They aren't your top of the line, maybe your high dollar headphones.
Yeah.
But I've had them now for maybe a year and a half, and I can't tell you how many people ask me about these little headphones. And the great thing is, they're flesh colored. So people sometimes just think, I'm ignoring them, and they just, that guy must just not know what I'm saying. I love them. They're perfect. I can't recommend these enough.
Isn't it amazing where we've come from about 15 years ago with headphones and CDs and Discmans to now?
I remember
do it without.
I remember being excited when I was younger. My mom would come home or my dad would come home with the airplane headphones. And I was like, oh, nice, new pair of headphones.
And you used to have to pay for those on the airplane.
Yeah.
I was spoiled, I guess. I was spoiled.
Yeah. Peanuts and headphones. That's what you got.
Yeah.
Awesome. Next question. If you could put anything on a billboard right now, what would it be? And you can't say vote or register.
If I could put anything on a billboard right now, it would be Go Bills.
Okay, I like it. All right, so the next question is, it's a two-part question. You're gonna tell us your life story in 3 minutes, and you can start wherever you want. You can tell one story, or you can try to tell the whole story of your life. Jen, I have the timer. I'm ready to go.
Yes,
all right.
You got it.
You have 3 minutes. Begin.
Okay, I was born at Children's Hospital in Buffalo. I went to grade school at Nativity of Our Lord in Orchard Park. From there, I went to St. Francis High School. From there, I went to Edinburgh University, all while being raised by a wonderful mother and wonderful father with two great young sisters. In Edinburgh, I stayed out there maybe an extra year, maybe. But I met a beautiful girl there who ended up being my girlfriend. After Edinburgh, I lived in Erie for a couple years, and then I got a job at the Board of Elections and came back home. And fast forward 3.5 years later, and I'm looking at two very wonderful people right now having an interview.
Wow, so that was like 90 seconds. So you do have another 90 seconds if you want to put anything, or are you complete?
You know what? You wanted the quick version, and I honestly wanted to see how quick I could do it, and I'm pretty comfortable with that 90 seconds.
Great.
I'm an avid outdoorsman. I'm a people person, and I like what I do.
Awesome.
Great.
Now, the second part of that question is, if you could sum up your life in one word, what would it be?
Fun.
Great. All right. Thanks.
Someone after Steve's heart here. That I feel like that resonates with Steve. He would totally be down with that.
I don't know how long I have on the earth, so I'm going to have fun. I'm not going to take things too seriously. Like, yes, the election is serious. I teach my class serious, but I'm going to have fun with it. And to me, I don't know, you never know who you're going to run into who needs a little fun.
That's it.
Great words. Okay, so now we're pivoting a little bit more to your professional life. Can you share with everyone what is the function of the Board of Election and what's your specific role there about?
So at the Board of Elections, where I've been working for the past 4 years, I am an election clerk by official title, but I have many different jobs under that title. It ranges from programming election machines, delivering these election machines. I also work on the computer where I'm registering voters, editing voter information. And then also, of course, Jen, which you got to see, I teach a class, inspector training class. And then I also go out on election day and go from polling site to make sure everything is running spick and span. I know that's sort of short term, but it's a lot of different things, and we have a lot of different people who do many different things. Nobody just is shoehorned into one little thing. Everybody is a jack of all trades there at the board.
How many people actually work for the Board of Elections there? How big of an organization is it?
I would say probably a little, maybe 75 plus, give or take. And that ranges from warehouse employees who, handle machines to people who are in the office as well. So we have two different facilities, one where we keep our machines and then one also where we work from our main headquarters.
So Adam, maybe share with us your trajectory from college. Were you like a poli-sci major or something, and this was sort of not something you'd always been interested in? Or tell us about like what was the transition or the link or lack thereof between what you studied and then now what your career has been?
So I would say my career at the board started before college. Actually, when I was out of high school, I was looking for, I guess, something, you might call a college resume pad or something to that effect. And so I had an opportunity to take an internship at the Board of Elections when I was 18 years old. So I jumped at the opportunity to take it, and I spent a couple months at the board. And then while I was in school, I did a summer at the board as well, never really anticipating going back. But just because I was a history major, but it just, went along with what I was sort of studying or involved in. And then out of college, I was in Erie. I was, thinking, man, what am I going to do? Where am I going to go? And then I'm, talking to my girlfriend and my mother and some other friends of mine who said, I understand it might not be something you think you want to do, but it might be something you're good at. Why don't you try and look into the board and, work in elections? And I still had some connections at the board, so I sent in an application. I couldn't believe it. I got a phone call and they said, hey, when can you come on in, Adam? We'd love to have you back. And I've been there now for about 4 years since then.
Something that really impressed me when you were doing the training is how completely neutral you were able to be during that. Like, I would have absolutely no idea what type of political beliefs you would have, like one way or the other. And can you talk a little bit more about why that is so important and maybe any challenges that
Absolutely
come up as a result of that?
Well, I think the big thing is, maybe in this day and age, or maybe it has been. I'm only 30 years old. Maybe it's always been like this. But it just seems like with social media and the internet and television media, there's so much anti-rhetoric about one side or the other and everything to that effect. And everybody is not along the same political spectrum. Even all three of us here, we might be registered to the same party or all three different parties. But even in those parties, each one of us think differently. So it's just so important to come across as someone who's open to any idea, or someone who isn't going to be judgmental or about, what you believe in or something to that effect. And also at the board, it wouldn't look very good if we just had one side running the polls. If there was just one political affiliation. Now, those might be trustworthy people, but at the board, we do have a split number of employees who are affiliated with other parties. But at the board, that is not something that we discuss. And quite frankly, it's our job. Nobody really wants to talk about that at the water cooler. You'd rather talk about, what's going on in your life, not, oh yeah, how about this election and campaign? Nobody wants to talk about that. So I think it's really, really nice because especially at the board, we do have two different sides. Everybody gets along wonderfully, wonderfully.
Hey.
So it's just, to me, when I'm teaching class, it's so important just to make people feel comfortable. Or I also love how you said that, Jennifer, how you couldn't pick out my political affiliation, because I try so hard not to give any clues or any hints, because I don't want somebody to judge me or to think, you know what, this guy isn't my party. I don't have to listen to what he says, or he's just lying. I, delivered machines today and somebody wanted to strike up a conversation about it. And I told them flat out, I go, you know what? I'm not at liberty to discuss this with my profession. And they go, oh, come on. I go, no, that's not something I'm happy doing or want to do at this point. So I think it's just very, very important. And every one of my fellow employees would agree with that, I feel like.
Awesome. And the bigger thing that says to me is also, you can really understand the commitment that you all have just to the democratic process. That's what I really took away, I would say, from the training. And also, I really had even more faith in the democratic process after hearing and learning more about all the various checks and balances. And then also seeing how you lead by example of just, taking it so seriously, the way that you talk, and again, like not standing for any, left or right type of rhetoric.
Yeah, I think it's very, very important that, especially in your inspector training, because, you're going to be working the polls, and the last thing a voter wants to see is somebody coming in who's, maybe signing them in the poll book, and they're listening to their political beliefs, and they're going to say, oh, wait, this person's signing me in? I don't know if I can trust them, and that's terrible. That's absolutely terrible that it's come to this in this day and age. That's terrible. That is terrible. But that's the way it is, unfortunately. And I hate to say it, I don't see it changing anytime soon.
Good thing Jen looks trustworthy.
I was going to say,
you know
Steve,
what?
you feel good knowing that I'm going to be an election involved with the election, right? You feel more comfortable now?
Yeah.
Okay,
good work.
Thank you.
Well, we need more people like Jen, and maybe even like you, Steve, maybe even like you to work, be an election inspector.
I might have to get down and get into the mix.
We take election inspectors very seriously at the board, and we take it so seriously, we pay more than most other counties outside of New York City in New York State. A lot of places it's volunteerism. Here in New York State, we feel if we pay the inspector, we're going to get a better crop. And we think, they're going to do a better job. And we want our voters, when they walk into the polling place, knowing they don't have some guy in his Bills jersey with cheesy puff fingers, handing them their ballot. They have somebody like Jen, some professional, trustworthy person signing them in and out.
And Adam, forgive me because I don't know enough. Is this can this be a year-round job for a lot of people?
So we have a lot of election inspectors who have been working. Well, let me start. It is an election day job. So you'd be working on both election days, general and primary, and also early voting. Not quite a year-round job, but 2 times a year. And also if you work, a couple days in early voting and a couple days in general, or that general day, you do make a nice little penny for yourself for Christmas presents for the fam.
It's a win-win.
Yeah, so we really, stress, especially this year. We really stressed about getting a new crop of inspectors in because, we knew we're going to have a lot of people at the polls come early voting, which, starts Saturday the 24th, and also on November 3rd on general election day. We know there's going to be a lot of voters there. We have done a lot of absentee ballots, but we're anticipating a lot of voters, and we want great inspectors there welcoming the voters.
So Adam, what do people need to know about early voting, which begins, as you said, Saturday the 24th? I
Yes,
saw that there are, is it 37 locations in
there
Erie?
are, I believe it is 36 now, 36 locations. We have one in every town and every ward in the city, as well as our main office at 134 West Eagle. So any one of those locations you can go to. I repeat, any one of those locations you as a voter in Erie County can go to on between October 24th to Sunday, November 1st. So on my weekends, Saturdays and Sundays, the hours are noon to 6, and then my weekdays are noon to 9.
Okay.
So let's say I work on Grand Island, but I live in Sardinia. I could stop at Grand Island's early voting location after work and go vote my Sardinia ballot. Absolutely. That's the wonderful thing. And speaking of, this day and age where there's disenfranchisement, 36 polling locations is more than any other county in New York State, I believe. Our Commissioner Ralph Moore, Commissioner Jeremy Zellner made a concerted effort to get out polling locations in every neighborhood, every town, no matter how big or how small. They want everybody to have a chance to early vote.
That's amazing.
That is
Yes,
amazing.
yes.
So good. So good to see that. And again, so much faith in the process by seeing that we're making it more accessible for people.
And I like you gave a
Yes.
shout out to Sardinia. That's amazing too.
Oh, yeah.
You don't
Hey,
hear that a lot, right? Like that doesn't, yeah, you don't hear that a lot.
I always got to shout out my South towns, my South towns.
Yeah, that's it.
And so Adam, so just to make it really clear for people, so even if I'm registered, right down the street, I live in the city near the Elmwood Village, I can still go to a different early voting location.
Absolutely, absolutely. You could go to Alden, the Alden Municipal Building. You could go to Newstead, which is the Akron Village Hall. You could come on down to Sardinia, which is the Sardinia Community Center.
Check it out. Check it out.
Yeah, I mean,
Take a road trip.
there's not much to check out in the room, but I'm sure that the people there I know are lovely people and they're lovely
Nice
inspectors. They'd
ride.
be happy to have you.
Nice ride.
Great.
Yes, a beautiful ride. You might even hit the tallest peak in the county on Genesee Road.
Jen, I think you should pack the kids up and take
I
a
know,
ride.
I'm formulating a whole plan. Well, this is the thing I was telling Steve earlier. So I was making a plan with another friend today, and we all have pretty flexible schedules during the week. So we're going to do an early voting little like a, I don't know, social event. And we're just gonna get together, hold each other accountable, and, kind of make, I don't know, just make a little event out of it. So
I like it. I like it. Yeah. Me personally, I always early vote because on election day, I'm just from 5 o'clock in the morning to midnight. I don't really have a time to go to my polling location. So I always early vote, and I usually go on my way home. And, I know a lot of people are worried, well, the polls are going to be packed. The polls are going to be packed. Early voting, the polls are very, very slow. Very slow. I've went to the town of West Seneca, which is a very big, suburb in Erie County. I usually go on my way home from work on a weekday, 6 p.m. to the West Seneca Community Center. And that is a very, very big happening, place. There's a lot of people there. I go in at 6 o'clock, dead. The woman, two people sitting in the polling location, somebody else is leaving. I was walking in. As I fill my ballot out and cast it, I'm leaving. Somebody else was walking in. Not a lot of people. So, if people are worried about the lines on general, but they feel they need to go to the polling location, I can't stress early voting, early voting. The lines will be very, very short. Maybe not tomorrow as much, because I think tomorrow and Sunday might be a little bit busier, but Monday through Friday, I guarantee you're going to have an easy time getting in and out of there.
good. All right. Well, thanks for sharing just like really how easy it is for everyone to do that. That's great to know.
Absolutely.
And just for everyone's information too, is there anything you'd like to share that like most people wouldn't know about the election process?
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
They typically not know.
Absolutely. Well, one thing I think that's important this year is absentee voting. And a lot of people, are worried about the mail and whatnot, and maybe getting their ballots to the post office. You can drop your ballot off, your absentee ballot, at any polling location in Erie County. So if I have an absentee ballot and I'm going to work, I can drop it off at any location, whether it's early voting or general. Maybe the post office isn't as close for someone. Well, then maybe I just stop at the corner voting location that's down near my place of work, or that's, just down the street from where I'm driving by. If I know I'm driving by one, maybe I'll just stop there.
And then you know that you handed it in. So there's that feeling of security too. You're not reliant
Absolutely.
on, yeah.
Absolutely. Also with the absentee, your last day to request one is October 27th. October 27th. And then the last day for them to be postmarked are election day. So that's why, let's say on election day, you miss the post office. It's 7 o'clock. You're ready to throw your ballot on the ground and stomp on it because you're so upset. Relax. Go to your local polling location, hand it in to Jennifer, and she will be happy to put it in a secure folder or box, and it will be tallied with all the other absentee ballots roughly about a week after the election.
Okay, Adam, and then so if I wanted to early vote and I go not to where my polling place, what do I need to bring for identification or pieces of paper? What is it that I need?
You do not need to bring a single thing, Steve. You just need to bring yourself. In New York State, you are not required to bring ID to the voting location, nor is the inspector allowed to ask you for identification.
So then how do they know if I don't vote twice? Yeah.
However,
yes.
What we do at the Board of Elections, we send out everybody those little voter registration cards. Everybody in Erie County gets one. What I would recommend is bring that with you to early voting. Watch how fast you get checked in and checked out. On that little registration card, there's a barcode.
I have my card. It's my plan.
There you go, right there. I love it.
Mine's over there, but it's not as close as Jen's. It's over there, but it's in the drawer.
I have it right here.
So it's not mandatory that you bring that, but we send it out for a reason.
Yeah.
If you bring it to early voting, that little barcode we can scan, we'll just bring you right up. We'll bring up everything about you. And then we can say, oh, Jennifer, where do you live again? And you'll give your address. There you are. Perfect. And, when I heard you talk about or mention it, Steve, there, the double voting, or you don't want people voting twice.
Yeah.
We have, I talked a little bit about it in class, so maybe this might be a refresher for Jennifer. We have so many checks and balances in red tape at the Board of Elections. If somebody early votes and then they come back in on general election day, it's going to say they early voted in the poll book. Now, I don't know too many people that are going to knowingly voted and early vote, go stand in line for 2 hours to go vote one more time. And maybe they're out there, maybe they are.
They just like to vote.
We haven't had them in Erie County. We've been doing elections since 1904, right on the seal. What I can tell the public is
Excelsior.
Trust us. I trust an electrician to do my electricity. I trust Jen and Steve when it comes to yoga and wellness.
Yes.
I trust a doctor when it comes to health related things. I trust an election worker when it comes to elections. I'm not going to ask the electrician about elections. I'm not going to ask my doctor about elections. So I think these inspectors or voters who maybe are watching the news and are just so media overload by everything that's gloom and doom. I think it was George Michael who wrote the song. You gotta have faith. You gotta have faith.
A George Michael reference is not lost on us, Adam.
No.
You gotta have faith.
Yes.
Have faith in us. Do things go wrong on election day? Yes, machines jam. It happens. But guess what? That's why you call the board as an inspector. I'm there within 10 or 15 minutes to fix the machine.
That's
And
what
then
I'm
we're
gonna
running
do.
back as normal.
Problem, I'm just gonna call you.
Exactly. 858-8891. And you can
Great.
call that any day of the week. And maybe you, well, not on Saturdays and Sundays, but Monday through Friday, you'll get somebody.
Okay, good.
That's great.
But we do just have so many checks and balances and red tape. We do so many different audits with the machines. You know, every voting machine has they're not on servers, they're not over the internet or anything like that. We
That's a
have
great point. That is a great point.
we have a memory card in there. So the memory card in there has the election data on it. We have all the votes in the or all the ballots in the machine have all the elections data per se. We have a receipt tape that prints that has what the election votes are saying. I mean, we have so many different checks and balances. You know, the machines are locked up with bolt cutters. You know, we do so many different things just to make sure that nothing is tampered with, to anything to that effect. That, you know, I almost was a little disheartened this year that everybody just lost faith in us. You know, for the past
This is
100
bringing it
years,
back.
everybody was. For the past 100 years, everybody, you know, had faith, and then this year it was just, no, I don't trust you now. I don't trust you. I don't get it.
That's a great point. And I think part of it is just people didn't know. I'll speak for myself. Like, I didn't realize how secure it really was. And all those things you just spoke about just gave me another level of confidence. So it's great to have you share that with us right now. And just to remind people, don't let, you know, all the other outside information make you worried. Go and trust, as you said, trust your local board of elections is doing all the necessary steps to make this all work the way that it's supposed to.
Very, very well put. You know, I hate to do another Bills reference, but trust the process. Trust the process. As Coach McDermott would say, trust the process.
You're speaking yoga language
too. So big right now.
You know, I might be a yoga person. I just don't know it. I might be one.
Steve, you want to? I think that probably is like perfect for our all the election information. And I love a little yoga segue, so I might just like turn it over to Steve there for
so
a couple other questions too.
Number one, do you practice any yoga? One, do you? And then if you don't, what's your self-care practice? Because you work long hours, you need to take care of yourself. Do you have a self-care practice? You said you're an outdoorsman. So is there something what's your go-to?
So my go-to, as yoga, I am not a yoga person per se. I do maybe a couple. I honestly couldn't tell you the name of them. It's more of my girlfriend is doing some yoga and she goes, get down here on the floor and let's see you bend that muscle. And you know, I played sports in high school. I played some sports in college. So, you know, I'm a little bit of an athlete, I guess. So it's not, I do bend, I am flexible. But I'm not very well versed in it, but I think it's something with my attitude and my lifestyle. Maybe it's something I might have to pick up. But as for my self-care, honestly, I like to run. I really like to run.
Did you run at Edinburgh?
No.
Okay.
I've never, running's only something I've picked up post college. I played lacrosse when I was younger. I played a little football. I did do some track in grade school, but it was always just some sprints and things like that. And then, you know, once you get out of college, I wasn't working out as much. And then, you know, I was starting to work this job and I had to find something that, you know, to clear my mind, but also where something that would actually, you know, be good for my physical health. And running, you know, I love to run. I find myself running down the hallway at work. I find myself running around the house. You know, I run out to the car. I literally run to the car. I just love to run. I'm a dog.
That's amazing. And do you just run for fun? Do you ever enter any races, or are you just more like, I just want to go out the door and run?
You know what? I just want to go out the door and run. I try and hit 5K every day. But you know what? Some days I'm coming up to the house and I might just go past it and go a little extra further. Other days I'm saying, you know what? I might take this side street back to the house. And you know, maybe not hit the full one, but I just have to, you know, I have to get out there and at least clear my mind for, you know, a mile or two.
That's great.
Awesome.
All right. So is there anything else that you want to say that maybe Jen and I didn't ask, or anything else that anyone should know about voting, the Board of Elections, that we didn't cover that you feel is really important?
You know, I would say, you know, the only other thing I didn't really give out is any information on how to contact us at the board. If you have any questions when it comes to anything, when it comes to voting, between the hours of 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, all year, December, July, February, call the board at 858-8891. Jennifer probably has that ingrained in her head because I maybe say that number a million times during the, class. I feel like I'm doing a law commercial when I say that number. But also we can be reached at our website at elections.erie.gov. You can apply for your absentee ballot. You can look up your voting location there. Anything that you may have a question, you might be able to answer it on your own on our website. I would almost guarantee you could. But if you want to speak to a person, we'd be more than happy to talk to you on the phone. 858-8891. Now, I would be happy to answer any questions. I can't solve the voting issues that are maybe going on in Florida or Virginia or another county. We're only the Erie County Board of Elections.
Sounds like a good team.
Totally. I mean, I feel great about it. How do you feel, Steve?
Yeah. Well, I want to take this time to acknowledge you, Adam, for your enthusiasm, your zest for your job. I know that I'm like ready to vote and ready to go from here. And you've convinced me to get out early and to go vote. So it's amazing to see how much passion and drive you have towards your job. And I acknowledge you for that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Our last question is, what is one thing that makes you laugh? What's one thing that makes you cry? And what's one thing that inspires you?
One thing that makes me laugh is a good funny movie. I mean, I know that everybody's going to say it. I know it, but you know what? I cry laughing at some, comedy movies. I like to have fun. So that's another way. One thing that'll always make me cry is, I hate to be so generic. Just like, you see a sad story or something online of some children or something. It's just, anything I see about kids, that always eats me up. I have a soft spot for, little kids or whatnot. You never want to see anything happen to them. And then something to inspire me. My parents, they're very big inspirations on me. And then also, I don't want to sound conceited, but myself, self-inspiration, trying to be the best person I can, or maybe trying to be, like I said, the funnest, the happiest, just, trying to be my best self every day.
That's great.
Yeah.
Good work.
Perfect place to leave it. And again, just thank you so much. Thanks for your commitment to the democratic process, which I feel like people are really feeling an enhanced sense of the importance of it, and also never taking it for granted, right? And it's incumbent on people like you that we can trust to keep it going. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Just, get out there, vote early, but don't vote often. Just vote early and once.
Good distinction.
No, but I love what I do. Everybody there, some people might not say they love what they do, but they could have gone and found another job long ago. They're still there for a reason. So, you have 75 plus dedicated individuals to get the job done.
Great.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you, Adam.
Appreciate
Thank you so much for having me.
All right.